Hey there, Arturo. So let's have a look at these fourth set of essays now. These look very full, well developed. I'm looking forward to these. There's usually, whenever we use the word not, there's usually a positive way to say it. We try to talk about what things are rather than what they are not. It's just more precise. If we say that something is not something, then it could be anything else. But if we say that something is something, it's emphatic, it's clear. Go on. Should be completely changed. This intro does contain everything it's supposed to contain, but I would like it to be framed in a little bit more of a formal manner. One sec. I think actually what I want to do is reverse this. Now it seems more like an outline statement. This is not really an explanation of this sentence. This sentence says, children are better at technology than adults. This sentence then says, children are better at technology than adults. So it's circular reasoning. It comes back on itself and just repeats the same thing again. So children have had technology from birth, whereas people like me, for instance, I'm 32 years old, and the internet only hit homes, like it only became a domestic thing, when I was about 11, 12. So before then, we just didn't have the internet. It just wasn't a thing. So children are more skilled at technology than adults, simply because they've been around it longer. They have a longer exposure. Instead of quoting this, because 3D is a word that we can use, but we shouldn't shorten word. This is fine actually. Applications or apps found in laptops. Anatomy is better understood by students through 3D applications in which the human body can be dissected and studied in great detail, let's say. This is something I wrote about recently, is as we are disposing of the idea of textbooks and switching to digital learning, one of the things that's come about is this ability for teachers to watch the students learn, and so they're able to see exactly what the problem areas are, who's struggling most, who needs the most support, who needs to be left alone. All of these things about the digital education system are great. So this paragraph is wonderful. It didn't really need much editing, but Now, this is a good, like, Band 8 style paragraph. Well done for switching up your wording as well. I would say each child has a unique learning style. And we could say something like, nowadays, however, there is only a single approach for teachers to educate. That does not work for all students in the same way. Not only not, see, it's too many nots. If we not understand, then we can fail to understand. So we could here just say, what is being taught? And resultantly feel frustrated. Or consequently feel frustrated. Or subsequently feel frustrated. But resultantly I like. We have an effect on things. Maybe this needs to be... wait, actually. These sentences are related. An overhaul, that's the word I was looking for. A complete change from beginning to end is an overhaul. An overhaul of old schooling methods via digitalization of the current educational system could be a good way to increase creativity in children. It is predicted that new digital approaches may be implemented by councils and schools in the following years. Good. Okay, your writing's extremely clear. It's well supported, well expanded. You have a clear central idea every paragraph. I'm very impressed. My one thing that I would say is when we're talking about children's innate talents, it's not necessarily creativity. We're not just talking about artistic or musical children. It could be anything. So let's not be overly specific when it's not required. When we're talking about generally children's innate talents, are they harmed? Are they recognised or not by the current system? Don't narrow down into one particular ability if the question doesn't ask for it, especially in the intro and conclusion. You can use one capacity or one innate talent as an example to support your idea, but the idea should be focused more generally on the fact that on the discussion as to whether children's innate abilities are suppressed by the conventional system. But let's have a look at your task 1. Oops. Nice. This could be by contrast, or I think in contrast is a little bit more natural. It's used more frequently. We spend on things. So this represented its highest investment, or comma which represented its highest investment, or largest investment. Lancashire allocated. almost the same amount of money, and we allocate things to other things. And again, spending on. Public funds, nice. Don't use things like interestingly, because this is, we don't know objectively whether it's interesting or not. This is an opinion. It's from your own brain. And we're only describing the graph. We don't include any information from our own brain. So, regarding community care, Lancashire Council spent only half that of Derbyshire. Lancashire Council spent only half that of Derbyshire, or half the amount that Derbyshire spent. Or Lancashire's spending was half of Derbyshire's, or Lancashire's spending equated to half of Derbyshire's. Okay, so actually, so you've got education here. This does satisfy all the requirements of the task, but I would have liked to have seen some mention of the other category somewhere. Whether you talk about miscellaneous spending or just the other category directly, talking about every aspect of the graph, especially in terms of the smallest investment. If we're talking about what's noticeable in the graph, we have the largest spendings, the smallest spendings, and then we can make comparisons between the two and such. But there was nothing here about the other category. We just spoke about the major areas. But overall, I think you are well above a band 7 by now. But let's send you one more set of essays just to make sure. We'd like people to get as much practice in as possible before the exam. So I'll send you another set for free, and I'll look forward to seeing those from you soon. Have a great day, man. Speak soon.